Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone. I am Mahmouda Ferdos, Department of Software Engineering at Daffodil International University. My ID is 181352382. Currently, I have done my research work under the supervision of the head of the department, Dr. Imran Mahmood sir. And the title of my research is Factor Influencing Green IT Users Behavior Among IT Professionals in Bangladesh, a hybrid PLS-ANN approach. But before going to the explanation of my whole work, I want to summarize my thesis in few lines for better understanding. As environmental effect like pollution, climate change is a global issue, that's why I am working on green IT. And I developed a model which will identify the factors that will influence green IT users' behavior among IT professionals. This model generates 4 hypotheses, and I collected data from various IT professionals from different software companies through survey questionnaires. And after collecting data, PLS will test the hypothesis and find out the significant factors. And ANN will identify the most significant predicted factors. Now I want to discuss about the background. Basically, green IT is a broad concept and it is the study and practice of environmentally sustainable computing whose goal is to reduce hazardous materials and maximize energy efficiency and recyclability. To tackle current climate change and environmental threats, green IT is considered a reasonable attempt for companies to enhance their sustainability and economic performance. And currently, many organizations are actively seeking green IT solutions for several purposes like less environmental influence, enhanced system performance, decreased cost, space savings, etc. So here is a pie chart which indicates global carbon dioxide emissions from ICT sectors. From this chart, we can see that carbon footprint rate from PCs and monitors is highest, and which is 39%. And from this we can see that in 2002 global carbon footprint from telecom devices was 18 metric ton carbon dioxide, and in 2020 it was 51 metric ton. And in 2016 energy consumption was increased to 1.1%, and in 2017 it was increased 2.3%, which is really alarming for globe. And this graph indicates an average yearly increase of carbon dioxide emission by 6.70% over the period of 1991 to 2011. And Bangladesh total carbon dioxide emission was estimated by 57.07 metric ton in 2011. But in 1991 it was 15.94 metric ton. So we can say that the emission rate is rapidly increasing. So now the problem statement is: put your computer on standby or let your monitor go into sleep mode also creates energy waste, as these modes still require power. Even leaving your computer plugged in while it is shut down will draw a small amount of power from electrical outlet, and this energy waste translates into greenhouse excess gases that contribute to pollution and global climate change. Used computers and electronics get thrown out when they break or become outdated, called techno trash. And these electronics contain all sorts of hazardous materials that pollute the soil and contaminate groundwater. Now the research question. There are mainly 2 research questions. First one is: what are the factors that influence green IT users' behavior of IT professionals? And the second one is: what is the most important factor that will influence green IT adoption in future among IT professionals? So the objective of my study is to identify the factors that influence green IT users' behavior and to explore the most predicted important factor that is associated with green IT adoption among IT professionals. So here is my literature review and the proposed model. Here we can see that eco-efficiency motive, eco-responsiveness motive, eco-legitimacy motive and personal norm. These are my independent variables, and the right hand side we can see that intention to adopt green IT, which is dependent variable. And then the list of my hypotheses. Here I generate 4 hypotheses, and primarily I assume all of the hypotheses has positive impact on intention to adopt green IT. That means hypothesis has positive impact on the dependent variable method. In survey questionnaire had 2 sections, a demographic questionnaire and model measurement questionnaire, and a 7-point Likert scale is used for this measurement. And for a data collection procedure, total number of 222 responses were recorded from 250 questionnaires, which were distributed like hard copy or soft copies among various IT professionals from different sectors. And the net response rate was 88.8%, which is very satisfactory. And for data analysis, the study used a hybrid approach of PLS-ANN and ANN technique for hypothesis testing. PLS is used for hypothesis testing and ANN is used to validate the PLS result by ranking the normalized importance. And the same PLS is suitable for hypothesis testing of linear relationships but cannot capture the non-linearity of relationships. And that's why ANN is used, because it can detect non-linearity. But in my research, I have not used any non-linear data. Here for model specification, I use composite reliability, AVE, discriminant validity and cross loadings. And in inner model evaluation, R square, path coefficient and effect size is used. Now the result part. Here we can see that there is a table which contains AVE and composite reliability. We know that the AVE, that means average variance extracted value, should be always greater than 0.50 according to Fornell and Lacrar 1981, and composite reliability's value should be greater than 0.7. And here we can see all of these values fulfilled this criteria, so this is valid. Discriminant validity. Table 2 shows that the square root of the AV of each diagonal values is higher than the correlation between the off diagonal values. These bold values are called diagonal values, and the rest of the values are called off diagonal values. And discriminant validity is established in our model because these values are greater than these values. And coefficient of determination, it means how much change occurs in the endogenous, that means dependent variable, due to the exogenous independent variable. And this table indicates how much change is being brought into the intention to adopt green IT because of EEM, ERM, ELM and PN, that means our independent variables, and this is a 54.1% change. In hypothesis testing result, we can see that among 4 hypotheses, 3 are supported but each one is not supported because the value of P, we know that the value of P should be higher than should be less than 0.05, but in our table we can see that it is 0.407, which is greater than 0.05. That's why it is not supported. Network validity. From this analysis, ANN analysis, we can see that the average values and standard deviation values of each criteria. And from sensitivity analysis, we can see that the personal norm was the most important predictor factors for intention to adopt green IT, because the normalized importance of PN is 89, but rest of the normalized importance values are less than PN. This is the neural network architecture. This is our input layer and this is our output layer. And middle part is hidden layer. So contribution. Based on the relevant literature, 4 hypotheses were developed and data suggested that 3 were strongly significant. And H1 is not supported because Bangladeshi IT professionals, they have lack of knowledge on eco-efficiency motives. And from neural network analysis result, personal norm was ranked as the most influential factor with a normalized variable importance 89. The first limitation of the present study is our survey. We used only IT professionals. For further research, this study should generalize to other sociocultural context. And all hypotheses are supported except hypothesis 1. So for further studies, should develop better measurements of this hypothesis. And for research model validation, two-stage analytical method PLS-ANN was used in current study, but for more studies needed to apply other non-linear approaches like support vector machines, fuzzy sets, random forest, which are strong predictive analysis. Conclusion. The study will open a door for further research opportunities in order to create environmental sustainability and low carbon economy. And this research explored the factors which influence Bangladeshi IT professionals for adopting and practicing green IT in their daily life. The more we use this device, the more pollution occurs. So it is high time to practice green IT in our daily life. So here are my references. Thank you.